Welcome back, guys, to another video. Sadly, the last video, the starter went, or something happened, something wrong to the starter, and we couldn't get the van to drive all around the neighborhood. But we did get it to about 10 miles per hour driving up this driveway, and it had enough power to go up the hill, so at least we know that the transmission is in operable condition. Who knows if what it's going to act like when we get higher speeds and all that, but first gear works, so that's good to know. But what we're gonna do today is we're gonna figure out what that sound was coming from the starter, and we're gonna see if it's a major damage or not. So there's three things that could have gone wrong. The starter itself could just be going bad, and like since it's a new starter, it's a brand new starter though, but the owner before me replaced it, but who knows when he replaced it. Electric motors don't like to sit for long periods of time because moisture can rust and corrode them, so it could be the motor going bad on the starter. That is best case scenario. Second thing is the teeth on it is connected to a flywheel or flex plate, depending on if it's automatic or a manual transmission. In this case, it's a flex plate because it's an automatic transmission. The teeth on the starter could have been twisting and catching the teeth of the flex plate, and it could have snapped the teeth or broke teeth. That is okay, we can just replace the starter. And worst case scenario is it broke one of the teeth on the flex plate. And if it broke one of the teeth on the big flex plate, the flex plate is pretty much is what on the back of the engine, so gonna have to take off the entire transmission to get to that plate. That means I'm gonna have to just drop the whole transmission. And granted, this transmission is not hard to drop, but that's just a huge process. So today we're gonna figure out if that little problem we just encountered is a big problem or a small problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and start taking out the starter. Sadly, I'm not gonna get a good camera angle on it because it's under the car and it's no longer on the trailer anymore, so I'm gonna have to go under it. And I mean, there is some clearance, but there isn't a lot of clearance. And when, you know, it didn't want to start, so I pretty much just threw it in neutral and went down the hill, and I don't have much room on that side either, so it's gonna be a squeeze for sure, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that starter off. You can see my breath, it's cold out here. It's like 37 in northern Georgia right now, so I'm gonna be working with cold tools. My hands are gonna be freezing, but I'm gonna go ahead and pull that starter off, so I'll cut to that. Okay, so the starter is off now. I don't know what the light over here, but here is the starter. So a couple things. When I was first taking off the starter was actually loose inside of the housing that connects to the flex plate. I don't know if you guys can see it, but right there, the little where you can see the ground, the starter should be in there, and that right there, that little metal piece I'm pointing at, that is where the starter kind of, you know, bolts down to into the transmission shroud. So first things first, the starter itself was loose in the housing itself, and if it's loose, it's not making good contact to that flywheel or flex plate to get it started. So that was my first thing. So it's not making good connections, so the teeth is just grinding. Second thing is, it looks like the owners before me actually went ahead and broke off a little bit of the housing on the top of the starter. This could be for two reasons. One, it broke off. Because it was kind of flying around in there because it was loose. Two, they broke it for clearance issues because, like I said, finding parts for this van is hard. So it could have been the right part for this van, but not the right transmission shroud thing. So breaking this thing off breaking the little part off could fix that issue. Another thing is they had the right lower bolt. So this is the right size and thread of the lower bolt. And you can see it perfectly fits in through that housing. Oh, perfectly fits in through the bottom housing. That's where it's supposed to be, right there in that bottom housing like that. You see that? Perfectly fits in there. I actually removed the whole stud by accident. But the thing is the bolt they used for the top is this thing. This thing is probably the culprit of the whole issue. So basically they're trying to fit a bolt this size into a hole that big, and they try to Mickey Mouse it together with some washers. You can kind of see here. They just like sometimes they call them like little shivs and all that, but these are just two metal washers, and basically they put it in like this. The two washers held it against the shroud, and the two things held it against the the transmission shroud, so it was holding it there tight. It was a temporary fix is what it is. They kind of rednecked it, Mickey Moused it together. And that's not how we kind of do things around here. We try to make sure everything's done right. Usually, I do Mickey Mouse some things. So I actually went ahead and tested the starter. The starter's totally fine. I'll show you how to test it. But I'm gonna go ahead and throw this starter back in because the starter's totally fine. And I'm gonna go ahead and replace this bolt because this bolt is no good. This is not how we do things. But yeah, I'm going to show you real quick how to test your starter, if it's bad or not. It's a little bright over here, so actually I went ahead and have my battery charger right here. You need to make sure you have one of these, the analog ones. Those new electric smart ones won't do the job. So I have it over here. So these starters, they ground out at the on the housing itself. So I have my negative here, I have my positive here. See, so there's two prongs. You have your one that's always connected to the battery, and then you have this small one right here that is your ignition one. So when you turn that key, your key sends a signal to that starter and then starts the engine. So by me using this screwdriver right here, I'm gonna mimic that starter and we're gonna test it. So you see right here, I'm gonna put my screwdriver inside that. See, so it's kicking over, so you know it's kind of hard to do this with one hand, but I'm gonna have my foot right here, and then you see? You can see the starter starting. And all I'm doing is just jumping it with my screwdriver. That's not good. You don't want to do it too much, but hold it down. You can see the gear starting and pulls right out when the engine starts. So then when you're starting your car and then you hear the engine start, you just kind of stop with trying to start your car. So that's pretty much what your starter does. Connects to the flex plate, turns it over, and that's it. So now I'm gonna have to go ahead and find a bolt. Let's see if I have a bolt, any of that, inside the house. If not, I'll run to Home Depot real quick and find a bolt for that. So yeah, I'll go ahead and throw that starter in real quick. Hey guys, so I got the new starter in, and I showed you that cracked housing part. So I actually found this inside of the housing of the transmission. You guys can kind of see down there the little green starter. So it wasn't cracked, it was just cracked from it being loose and shimming inside of it. So I went into the hardware store to try to find those bolts and all that, couldn't find it at all. So right now I'm using the same bolt, the little thin one that the guys used before me. I'll eventually replace it down the road, but it starts the van and it grinds a little bit, not as bad as it was before, so I'm just gonna stick with it. But yeah, now this is going to be our first drive of the van, so I'm going to go ahead and start it. You ready? About 10 miles per hour right now. This is me putting the brakes on. Ooh, the brakes are terrible. Okay, I'm gonna be taking a ride down here. No, 15 miles per hour. We're cruising right now. Slow down for the bridge a little bit. Wow, the engine's right here. That's 20 miles per hour. We're at 20 miles per hour and this thing is going. Yeah. Oh, I gotta slow down. Oh, the big roundabout right here. Yeah, I took the camera. So yeah, it's moving around. not bad. I'm very sorry if it's really loud. You know, the engine, I got an engine right here next to me, so I've got no other choice. So, yeah, the van's moving around and I'm cruising about 25 miles per hour. Got a little wooden bridge in front of me. I gotta slow down real good. Okay, it's looking good. Okay, I think it's set. Now we gotta tune it in a bit. Yeah, I'll take that. They're right over here. That's about 25, 30 miles per hour right now. It's backfiring like crazy over here. But I think I'm gonna go around, turn back home and bring this thing back. But we're driving around the neighborhood, which is good. And this thing is a big, you can feel the weight behind this thing. So what you see there is actually spitting gas back at us, which is not good because it could catch on fire any second now and burn both of us alive. So yeah, that's a risk we're taking right now. But let me just get this home, and you can really feel that it's. Got a stop sign on the brake. It's stopping a bit. Okay, my foot's on the floor now. Oh, and it died. Okay, it just died on me. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to start it again. Hopefully it will start. Okay, I'm gonna start it in neutral this time.
So doing it again.
Okay, so I don't think it's even making contact, the starter, to the engine anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm gonna have to pull the van back in with the Excavator or the Bobcat. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut to that. Well, it's a little hiccup, I guess. Okay, and now we're back. We got the van back in its spot. I just used my, I have a Bobcat back there, and I put some chains up to it, and I had Gigi steer. So once again, the van has a problem. So the starter, like I said, it was a problem before the video, and it's still a problem now. I think the starter just died out on it. Even though it's a brand new starter, it's still not making a connection to the flywheel or flex plate. So that's gonna have to come out again, and I gotta find the right bolt for it. But Home Depot and Ace Hardware, they really don't have the stuff for it, I guess. I don't know. I have to just, it's something I gotta figure out, because like I said, they don't make stuff for this van anymore. So I gotta like just put things together. But yeah, you guys saw it move and drive around, so at least we know it can get places. The floor was scraping on the road the entire time. It was just scraping along, but at least we know that it can go somewhere. Unlike the last video where we just went like 10 miles per hour and that's it. We went around the block. And next video will be around, I don't know, the town maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe we'll go around the town. And next video we'll go around the city. But yeah, that's where we're gonna conclude our video today. And you know, we're getting places with this van, even though it's kind of slowly and maturely. But we're both amateurs here, so bear with us. But yeah, that's the van. Didn't do so bad. It was cutting out a lot. The carb is really bad, so I'm gonna get working on that. But yeah, thank you for watching the video. I don't know, like I said, if you like it, like, comment. If you like the content, subscribe so you guys can keep watching more of it, and join the Discord. All the subs are in there. We all talk and all that. And yeah, thank you for stopping by and watching our video. Hope you guys see you guys in the next one. Till then,
Thank
see ya.
you.